What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy BT. Today we've got quite a dilemma here. We've got this RV. The RV was supposed to be brought to a different location. It ended up getting stuck over here because it couldn't make it up the hill over here. So as it was going up the hill, the guy delivering it, his wheels started spinning out. It was a little bit of a frosty morning and his wheels started to spin out. He wasn't able to get it up there. So I told him, back it down and let's go ahead and move it to a different spot. Well, as he was backing it down, he got into this spot here and he was getting ready to try to pull a U-turn and he got stuck. So as you can see, we have a regular Kingpin on here, and because it's sitting at a slight angle, it was time to do an upgrade, or what I would call a safer way to actually get this thing hitched and moved. So that brings us to today's video with the Gen Y hitch. This is the Executive Torsion Flex gooseneck setup here for the RV. Also, we've got the puck system that's going to go in the back of the pickup in order to get everything hooked up. So we're going to go ahead and unbox this immediately to get this thing moved. All right, so before we unbox that, I also picked these guys up off of Amazon. So what we're going to do with these is we are actually going to place these in the spot where we believe there will be some slippage. So first spot is going to be right here where we know we're going to need some nice traction to make sure we do not slip in this location here. So we're going to back the truck up, put it right in that spot there. Now I did get 2 sets of these and I think these are going to work out just great to provide any sort of traction that's needed. Also, the day that the delivery took place, the ground was unbelievably soft for whatever reason. When the RV legs were being put down, there was a lot of moisture coming out of the floor, the earth. But yeah, so we think we've got a good setup here. All right, so the next set here, I'm gonna put up on the hill where I believe there will be some potential slippage, which is kind of right here. So we're gonna make sure that we do everything possible to avoid any slipping as we go up this hill. Now the hill isn't an aggressive grade, but just wanna make sure we do what we need to do here to improve the success of this movement up the hill here. Yep, so there's a spot here. This is also the other spot where he got stuck. So if we can make it up this point right here, we should be good to go. So here's the little bag that these come with. Again, 2 sets, so two sets of bags here. And I'll leave a link in the description for the products that we're using today. All right, the next thing we have here are these little puck system here. These will go into the truck bed to hold the safety chains. So this is a Kurt product here. There's 2 of them that come in the box along with the installation instructions. All right, so let's go ahead and unbox the Gen Y hitch. As you can see here, this is the part number. We did opt for the 5.5K hitch pin weight based off of the calculation. You're supposed to take, I believe it's 20% of the weight of your RV in order to get the appropriate number. And there it is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to take off the old Kingpin setup and go ahead and install this new one here. This looks pretty good. And it's going to be pretty heavy as well. All right, so in this box is our Goose puck system. So there we have it. All right. So this one's pretty straightforward. We have this big plate here. This is going to go in the back of the truck. Nothing here. Nothing here. Oh, here's our chains. These are our safety chains right here. Okay. And then in this box should be the rest of the puck setup here. All right, so this is what does all the work right here. Okay, we got that, and we should have some screws in here. Perfect. So this is the kit right here. We'll get everything set up, tightened down, and ready to go. All right, inside, got a card to get your user guide. warranty card there. So this is a pretty heavy specimen here. So we're gonna have to be strategic about how we get this thing placed up into the RV there. All right, so here's our Rhino box setup. We have 5 screws on each side. These 2 screws will need to be accessed from the inside. So we've got these 2 screws right here. And there you can see you have a bolt here. These are 15/16. So we're gonna go ahead and take these off. All right, so we've got these 2 bolts here, these 3 here. We're gonna wanna take this off first so that when we release that, it comes down. And then this is the holder here. That can stay put because that's not part of this. But we're gonna wanna go ahead and take this off first and then take these bolts off and we should be good to go. All right, so on this Rhino box, mine's here is a 3/8. We'll go ahead, get this off. All right, now that that's off, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take our 15/16 setup here and go to work. All right, so once you get things loose, you can use the big boy power tools, if you have them, to speed up the process. Okay, I'm gonna leave these 2 in while I work the other sides before taking everything off. All right, here we go. The last 4 screws now. All right, so now we're just gonna get ready to grab it as we take out this last bolt here. There's a little bit of tension on here. So all we're gonna do is just kind of wiggle it down. All right, so now it is a little tight in there. So as it's coming down, just watch yourself. Kind of just rock it, let it work its way down, and get ready to brace it as it falls. All right, we're gonna try maybe flip it all the way around. Get a better grab this way. Okay, so yeah, I flipped it around. I was able to twist it out. So now it's out, not too heavy. Felt like it might have been heavier, but now it's out. All right, so here's challenge number 1. As you can see, these do not have any threads in it. It's a straight pass through, so you have to use a nut. On the other side, these, on the other hand, do have threads, and that's what it bolted into. Now, on the new setup here, as you'll notice, ta-da, there are none. So we're gonna have to go ahead and get 3 nuts to attach to those bolts, along with some locking washers to be able to fully get this bolted in. Now, we can raise this up and put it in and set the screws in place, but we're still gonna need those nuts to finish off the job. All right, so we'll take a break and we'll check out the this little gooseneck puck system here. So this is going to sit on top of this like so. And then we've got these bolts that are going to come up from the bottom. We're going to take these bolts, put them up from underneath, get those set in place, square them up. Okay, after you get those squared up, then you're going to place this on top, and we're going to screw these in. All right, so I'm just going to lift it up here to kind of get them set in place. Once everything is set in place, then we can start screwing on these like so. And then for the back part, it's just a matter of taking these, sliding them in. They can only go in one direction. And then screwing these down. And then we've got our little pin here to lock it in place. Then you just repeat on the other side. Okay, and this is going to be a 9/16. Okay, so these are done. Now we'll just need to get these guys snug over here a little bit. So I'm going to use the big boy wrench to get these snug in place. And we're done with this assembly. All right, so to get this system in here, all we're gonna do is take out the little protective covers here. Once we take those out, we can go ahead and drop in all of the items for our setup here. So this thing does have a little bit of weight to it, but here we are there. It's part one. And then here is our Kurt product. All right, so it's as simple as taking this and aligning it to the holes in the puck system. And then when you get this one in the center line, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this pin out here, pull this up, twist it, and then we should be able to nice and easy drop this thing down in place here. There we go. So now that that's in, turn that, and we put our little slider pin back on here. And we're ready to go. That easy, folks. Okay, and for these guys here, simple as well. All we have to do, slide this pin out like so, pull this up, lock it in place, whichever direction we want that. So we'll turn them in, slide that in. That's not going anywhere. Slide your pin back in, and we're ready to go. And we're done. All right, so we're here at the hardware store. We are looking for a grade 8 bolt and nut setup. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that. Now, as you can see here from the instruction manual, it does say that we need a minimum of 4 screws, but 4 bolts in that setup. All right, so here we're 5/8, a thread 11. Now they say use a 5/8 bolt and 2 inches long. So here we go right here. This is the bolt we're looking for. So we're gonna grab everything they have. Again, use a minimum of 4 per side. Then we've also got these sets of washers here. So this is what I'm gonna use for the washer. And then for the nut, here are the nuts. And then we also have... All right, so here is the setup that we're going with. We're actually going to be using a hydraulic table. For this is actually a grooming table. You can actually use an actual like garage hydraulic cart table thing if you want to be able to hoist this thing up, since it's just a one-person job. We're gonna have to utilize what we can here to make this work, but we're gonna hoist it up. We're gonna rest the nose on that blue pad and hoist it up with the red stand there. Then we're gonna raise it up into place and get it bolted in. Hopefully this works out well. This here should be able to support the weight of this hitch. So I will leave in the description a link to some portable tables that you can use that have some good weight capacities on them. All right, so as you can see, I had to finagle it up and down, kind of wiggle it in until I got that first bolt at the top set. Now that'll give me a little bit of leverage to adjust everything and get it snug. All right, so after rocking it back and forth, I think we are able to get our screws in here. So this is fantastic. All right, so again, that's the minimum amount of bolts you need on this to make it work. We're gonna go ahead and add the rest of our 6 bolts in, and we're gonna be torquing this down to 160 foot-pounds. All right, so we've got our torque wrench set to 160 per the spec, and we're just gonna go ahead and torque away. We've already drilled with the impact to get those a little tighter, and now we're just gonna go ahead and get these torqued down. All right, so we are done torquing down the bolts. One thing I would recommend for these bolts here is that as you look for the bolts that you need, again, these are grade 8. It says the instructions say you need a grade 8 bolt and nut. I would go ahead and order these ahead at the Lowe's. I went to 4 Lowe's stores before I was able to finally get the total number of items that I needed to get this setup complete. All right, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our drill here. We're going to drill this piece back into here. All right, so after you get your hole screwed out there, I'm gonna go ahead and take this and reattach it to the side, right there. All right, and the last thing left is to add our chain. All right, so for the chain, what you're gonna wanna do is take one side of this, get yourself some pliers, and you're gonna bend this cotter pin back, like so. Okay, once you get the cotter pin bent back, you're gonna go ahead and tap that out, take it apart, pull this through here. So you'll be left with these pieces here. Put those safely to the side. Then all we're gonna do is we're gonna take our chain, we're gonna feed it through this side, through this piece here like that, and we're gonna pull it out through the opposite side. All right, now we'll just take this and slide it through this other side here to bring it across to the other side. Once we've got that all the way across, now we can take this piece here, slide it back through, and get everything reassembled. Take your cotter pin, slide it back in, and then bend it back in place. And just like that, we are finished with the chain install. All right, so with the chain done, you can take these now and hook them up here in the back side, like so. Good place to hold them. Okay. And that, my friends, is the install of the Gen Y Executive Hitch. You can see it wasn't too bad. It does take a little bit of work to get everything installed, but we've got everything installed, and now we should be able to get this thing hitched onto the back of our truck and moved up the hill. All right, so again, we've got everything in place. We've got our traction mats there to help with slippage. We've also got some on the hill there, which is where the other guy was slipping when he was attempting to go up. So hopefully we can get this thing attached and get that thing pulled up the hill.
Pas de soleil, 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 pas de soleil.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you saw how easy it was to assemble this receiver for the gooseneck that goes in the back of this Dodge Ram. All right, guys, so that's the end of this installation video. I hope you guys enjoyed the install of this Gen Y snap latch executive torsion gooseneck setup here with the chain and the puck system that goes in the back of the Ram 3500. It's a wrap. That's it. I hope you see what you need to get this done. But as for this, we're done with this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.